Welcome back, my magical star beings. Today we're doing a requested one on what his ex thinks about you. So we're going to take a look at her or their thoughts on the connection, how she or they feel about you and him. So in terms of your pile selection, you can either pick your pile based off your zodiac, his zodiac, her zodiac if you know it, or based off the pile you're most drawn to, and the zodiacs are in the thumbnail. So we have pile 1 with a shell with the 10 of swords. Then for pile 2, we have Amethyst with the 5 of Cups. And for pile 3, we have Rose Quartz with the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. So if you'd like to support the channel by watching the sponsored segments of the reading, it is going to show up now in a few seconds. Once you are done picking a pile, your timestamps are in the description box below, and I will see you at your reading. I'll try to be as accurate as I can, but it is a bit tricky when reading for the collective. If you want something more personal, you can always check in with the psychic for a more in-depth description. Speaking of which, I tried a clairvoyant from Psychic Source, and yes, they're sponsoring today's video. Thank you, Psychic Source. I got matched with a clairvoyant through their site, and honestly, I wasn't expecting her to be that accurate. I gave her no personal info, just asked about my future love life, and somehow she instantly picked up that I'm already in a relationship. She literally said, "Why are you asking about the future without mentioning him?" I was literally speechless, but then I remembered that's kind of what I do too. Still a shocking experience to be on the receiving end of it. She described my future partner as someone who makes me really happy, with great communication and a bond that can handle anything. But the part that really stuck with me, she said she saw my future husband giving me purple flowers. A few weeks later, nothing happened, so I kind of forgot about it. Then we saw a tattoo promo on Instagram. My boyfriend sent me his ideas so I can book, and boom, a purple flower. Not a bouquet, but I'm definitely taking that as a sign. You can chat with gifted advisors however you're most comfortable, phone, video, or even text. Setting up my account on their website was super easy, and they have this quick little quiz that helps you find a psychic based on what you're looking for, whether it's love, past lives, energy readings, whatever. It made the whole process really personal and intentional. What sets them apart is the level of care and integrity. Only 2% of their applicants actually become advisors, so you know you're speaking to someone who's truly gifted and held to high ethical standards. And they back everything up with a no risk guarantee. If you're not happy with your last paid reading, it's free. For a limited time, you can use my code Siren at psychicsource.com when checking out, or you can just click the link in my description box below at trypsychicsource.com/siren. You'll get up to 40 minutes with an advisor for just $19.80. That's up to a $240 value. You don't have to use it all in one session. You can spread those minutes out across multiple advisors to see who you truly resonate with. They also donate 1% of your purchase to charity at no extra cost to you. Oh, and yes, I do get paid for this promo, so when you sign up with Psychic Source, you're feeding a perpetually hungry, slightly dramatic psychic, that'd be me, and funding my next impulsive crystal purchase. As you can see, the channel needs some new crystals. But that's all for now. Thank you again to Psychic Source for sponsoring today's video. Pal 1, you chose the shell and the 10 of swords. We're going to be taking a look at what his ex thinks of you. So let's get straight into your reading and shuffle your cards. So there's this feeling from his ex of like, I feel stuck in a cage and I can't get out. And what I saw initially, like as a vision when I connected to your guys' energy and this person's energy, the ex's energy, I was seeing this energy of like them break up. Her or them. I'm just gonna say her or them because I don't know the gender of the sex. Because maybe there's like some gay guys watching. Okay, so I see them kind of like wishing for them to get back together, thinking, okay, we're gonna get back together. Maybe for some of you, they were in on and off relationships, or there was like this energy of like, I know we will get back together, but it didn't exactly happen that way. And then I see her kind of like laughing, smiling, reminiscing on the good memories with him. And then there's like this energy of like, as soon as I'm like smiling and feeling nostalgic about the connection, my smile falters because I see you and him together. So in my mind's eye, I'm seeing this image of like her kind of reminisce on the memories with him, smile, think, okay, we're gonna get back together, like something like that. We always find our way back together. Her thinking that in her head, or their head, and then she sees like an image of you two kissing, either physically in real life or a literal image. And then she kind of like is like, whoa, I didn't expect that. So I don't know if you started dating this guy like right after they broke up, or if it was a while after that she kind of just thought, okay, we're gonna get back together, but then he got with you. So she didn't expect it. It was kind of like, whoa, I didn't expect this. It was kind of like a reality check, a little bit of a humbling feeling, like, oh, I thought he would want me back, but now I feel humbled. Okay, let's see what comes up in the cards. What does she think about pile number 1? Or what does this ex think about pile number 1? 7 of Swords. She doesn't like you at all, okay? The connection, the Emperor, and him. King of Pentacles and 2 of Cups. Okay, so she's still in love with him. I didn't expect this. Because the 2 of Cups here is like, what I'm getting here is like, my man, my man, my man kind of energy of like, he's still mine. So she's a little bit delusional in a sense where she thinks that she still kind of like, I don't want to say owns him, but there's kind of like a possessive feeling here of like, he's still mine. Like, he might be with you right now, but he's still mine. And that might not be true. Like, he might be in love with you. He might just have his eyes on you. And the thing is, how I'm reading this energetically is maybe he moved on for a reason. Maybe he didn't have any hope of getting back with her. Maybe that's why it didn't happen the way she expected. But I'm going to stay unbiased during the reading and just tell you her perspective. It doesn't mean that he wants her back, even though she feels like this. Okay? I'm hearing when I look at the 7 of Swords, you don't know how to handle him like I do. You're just temporary. That's what she thinks of you. And now again, this may not be true, but this is what she's thinking. I think she's kind of bitter about you with the 7 of Swords, hiding her animosity towards you. I even see her kind of like spying on you a little bit on social media and hiding that animosity towards you by maybe like trying to not like any of your photos, trying to like sneakily watch you with the 7 of Swords, maybe even on a fake account. Then I see her kind of feeling a little bit stuck and confused because you guys seem like you have a stable connection, and he seems to be very protective over you in a way he wasn't over her or them. And they didn't seem to quite have a stable connection like you do. And it kind of feels a little bit like, when she sees that, or they see that, it kind of feels like self-hatred. Because I'm picking up on this energy of like, I thought we would have had that. Now, what's wrong with me? And this feeling of like internalizing it, like, what's wrong with me now? Why didn't I get that connection with him? And I'm getting that from intuitively from like the way he's kind of choking himself. It's making me think of like this person kind of having a little bit of self-hatred in the moment, seeing you and him together. Then there's this energy of like her kind of reminiscing on him and feeling like, oh, he always used to, spend a lot of money on me. He always used to say he's going to provide for me. He always used to say, we'd always be together. I think she's still in love with him with the Two of Cups. Let's get some more cards. Yeah, when I picked up the deck, the Five of Wands came out. So she's heavily in competition with you, maybe even angry at you. But she also feels remorseful and regretful, like maybe I shouldn't have said or done the things I did when they ended the connection, and maybe he would still be with me. She's kind of like going in her head thinking like, what did I do to mess this up? Like, why doesn't he want me back? Why does he want you? There's kind of like a self-comparison feeling coming from the Five of Wands. And like, again, this feeling of I'm being humbled in some way. Like, my ego is bruised in some way. She feels very insecure at the moment. I feel that energy. So we have Temperance, and she's wondering, like, why wasn't she good enough for him? Which is kind of sad. Like, I feel for her, but she is a little bit delusional in the sense where she thinks they're still gonna get back together. And I mean, like, if he did move on, what I'm feeling from the energy is like he moved on from her for a reason. They didn't get back for a specific reason because he thought it's the end of the chapter and like I need to move on now. I tried with this person and it didn't work out. I need to move on now. So again, like I'm trying to be unbiased here and not like say anything bad about her, but what I am picking up is she's talking a lot of shit about you. To her friends, to her family. So Temperance, Page of Swords, Ten of Cups, and Two of Swords, sorry. For some of you, I pick up that he started dating you shortly after, and she wonders, did he ever cheat on me with you? I don't think he ever cheated. I don't see that. But she kind of wonders, because you moved on so fast, like, were you the other woman? There's that kind of feeling here, or were you the other person? But I don't think that is the case from what Spirit is showing me. I keep seeing anger in her energy. I see her kind of like throwing a tempered tantrum and breaking things around her. I feel like she can be very volatile when she's angry, or she's just showing that at the moment if she's not usually displaying that behavior. But I kind of just see a vision of her like angry, kicking everything, screaming, like breaking everything around her. So there's a little bit of self-destructiveness that has entered her life and her mood at the moment, if she's not always like that. She kind of thinks that you are a very classy person and that you're very beautiful. And there's almost like this energy of what does she have that I don't have? Now I'm seeing, you know, in The Corpse Bride, in the movie The Corpse Bride, when she's like singing that song, what does she have that I don't have? I'm seeing that scene in my mind's eye. And I'm also seeing Sex and the City when Carrie Bradshaw kind of like sees Big move on to Natasha. I don't know if I'm getting the names right. I haven't like watched the full scenes, but I've seen like clips of it on TikTok. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like hatred, animosity here. Almost just seeing you as like beautiful and seeing what you guys have as like pure in some way, almost like an innocent kind of love. There's almost this feeling of her looking at you or them looking at you and seeing that he almost just loves you for you and not just for your body or not just for anything superficial. Like what you guys have seems kind of real, and that kind of makes her again have this reality check of like maybe what I thought wasn't true, like maybe we aren't gonna get back together, and that kind of thought is accompanied by a feeling of a lot of hurt and pain. She is kind of curious about your connection with the Page of Swords and does check up on you and him and your connection from time to time. And this has been happening for a long time with Temperance. Even if you've been with this man for months or years, she still checks up on you guys. She still, to this day, as I'm reading these cards, hasn't moved on from him. And of course, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you find this, it's still applicable for you. But still, to this moment, she's still in love with him. Even if she has moved on to somebody else, there's still a feeling of love here. And now in my mind's eye, I'm seeing the notebook when the main character is like still in love with that guy. I forgot their names. Sorry, I'm bad with names, like remembering names. Anyways, and she moves on to the other guy, but she's still like in love with him. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing for some of you in my mind's eye. She kind of feels like he made a choice to be with you, and because of that, she can't have him back. But she kind of secretly wishes that if you guys were to break up, that he would come back running to her. But she knows deep down inside that probably wouldn't happen. But she kind of likes to think that to boost her own ego in a way. And I think on some level, she is still in love with him. But I think on some level, she kind of wants the ego boost of knowing he wants her back. Because I think on some level, because she felt humbled in some way, because she feels insecure in some way because of you, it would almost feel like an ego boost if he would message her while, he's still with you, which wouldn't happen. I don't pick up on this guy being a cheater or, I don't think he would do anything like that. But I think she kind of fantasizes about that in her mind. Like, oh, if you could come back running to me, that would be so great, like whether you're in a relationship or not, or whether you break up or not, she kind of hopes for that to happen. So what does she think of pile number 1, or them? What do they think of pile number 1, this X? So the 8 of Pentacles reverse, the Page of Wands reverse, the Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, and Queen of Wands reverse. Queen of Wands reverse confirms what I said, that she's very insecure. King of Wands at the back of the deck confirms the anger I spoke about. There's almost like this energy of, I know him better than you know him, and he may treat you right now, but what I'm picking up from her is almost like this thought process of, he may treat you right now, but he's eventually going to treat you like how he treated me, which I don't think is the case. I don't think he treated her badly. But what I'm picking up here is things fell apart in their connection abruptly, and she kind of blamed him for a lot of the things that happened in the connection, for it falling apart. She still to this day cannot take responsibility or own up to where she went wrong. And I'm not saying it was all on her, because on some level, it takes 2 to tango, right? But I do feel like when he showed up in the connection with her, he was a different version of himself than who he is now. So I feel like her thought process isn't true, because I feel like at that phase, he was kind of like showing up as the unhealed version of himself with the 8 of Pentacles reverse. And I feel like after that connection, I feel like for some of you, maybe there was some time between the process of like when he broke up with her and when he started dating you. I feel like a healing happened between that process. And I feel like he has kind of like looked within, taken accountability for what happened in the past, realized where he went wrong in that previous connection, learned from it, grew from it, worked on himself, to the point where I don't feel like he would make those same mistakes he made in the connection with her, with you, if that makes sense. So her thought process is kind of coming from this place of anger towards you, of not wanting your connection to work out. So it's almost like she's waiting for the pin to drop. She's waiting for the moment he treats you maybe the way he treated her. I don't get that he treated her badly, but it's kind of like she's waiting for things to fall apart. I think that she brought out another side of him, maybe the worst side of him because of, like, I don't want to like blame it all on her because, like I said, it takes two to tango. But what Spirit is showing me, like from an unbiased point of view, is that she kind of like brought another side out of him. She kind of provoked him a lot. So I see her kind of like having a little bit of temperament issue. And it's not just now, but it's also in their relationship. And I see her kind of like provoking him the whole time, like trying to get him mad. And then when he does eventually get mad, it's like she blames it all on him. Do you get what I mean? And I don't want to go too much off topic, but I'm kind of just going with the flow of like the messages coming through. But I feel like she kind of brought another side out of him that he doesn't want to bring out in this connection. He realized that sometimes he did things or said things without thinking, and he doesn't want to make those same mistakes in this connection. But it's almost like she's waiting for your connection to fall apart, and she's waiting for him to run back to her. Okay, what does she think of pile number one, though? She thinks you're very unique, very different from her, and she wonders what his usual type is. Because I think she's noticed the pattern that all his exes, all the people he dates are very different. And there's almost like this energy of like, oh, I thought you would have dated someone similar to me. And again, there's this feeling of feeling humbled by that, knowing that he's probably moved on from her because he's not going for someone similar as her. She kind of thought he would, right? And she kind of thought she would get an ego boost from seeing that. But you're very different from her. And she, like, again wonders what he sees in you. Like, she sees you as very beautiful, but she doesn't really know your personality much. Even when she does, like, internet stalking, it's kind of like she doesn't really know what to think of you because she sees that you and her are very different. But it's almost like she still can't fully read you or get a grip. I see her friends around her like trying to kind of get them to kind of forget about this person and get a grip, and to wake up and stop living in the past. But it's like she's fallen down this hole. I'm seeing like Alice in Wonderland when she falls down the hole and she like can't get out. So there's this feeling of her feeling stuck in the cycle of like reminiscing the whole time about him, talking about you, talking about him, talking about your connection, wishing it would fall apart. And her friends around her, or their friends, are kind of like fed up at this point because it's been long. I mean, they thought she would have healed or moved on by now, but she still hasn't. And it's like, when are you going to realize that he's moved on? When are you going to? So I see her friends like trying to pick her back up in some way, but it's like she doesn't want to be helped. She thinks that you have very nice teeth, very good dental hygiene based off what she's seen on your pictures and social media. She thinks that you have a very big family or very big circle, or a lot of support around you from those closest to you, and she's kind of jealous of that. She is a little bit jealous of your beauty too. She does kind of think you stole him away from her, and she's misdirecting that anger onto you. She kind of thinks you treat him better than she did, and that brings up a lot of regret for her. She thinks you're very tempting towards him, and she almost views you as like the temptress or the other woman, even if you're not. Like, for a lot of you, I'm getting that never even happened. For most of you, I'm getting that he never like cheated on her, but she delusionally thinks that. Like, I get it from her point of view. If somebody moved on fast, like, you could question that. I get it. I'm not like trying to be rude towards her or anything like that. Like I said, I want to stay unbiased, but it never happened that way. So she kind of thinks it's happened that way, but it never happened that way. She thinks you two met organically and clicked the moment you met, and she's kind of a little bit jealous of the connection that you have as well. She thinks that you're also very mature, you make very good decisions for your life, but she's almost waiting for the moment you lose your spark in the connection, or waiting for the moment you feel unhappy in the connection. It's almost like your misery, even if you're not miserable in this connection, she thinks your misery in this connection would make her happy. Because I see like a big smile on her face, waiting for the moment you two break up, or waiting for the moment you're miserable. Even if that never happens, it's like she has a big smile on her face, waiting for that moment. I think she tries to look for flaws in you because of her jealousy and competition and kind of like inferiority around you, her perceived inferiority, because she might not even be inferior, but she feels inferior next to you. Of course, she's never been next to you, but you get what I mean. And there's this feeling of like her looking for flaws in you physically, not being able to find much, because she can't admit that you're beautiful. Even when she tries to look for flaws, it's like she doesn't really find it. Then she tries to look for flaws in your personality and sees that you're almost like perfect for him. And then there's like this heart-throbbing, painful energy of like, I try to find flaws in you, but I can't find any. You're like perfect for him, and I don't want to admit that. She tries, or they try to distract themselves from this by like doing other things, but their mind always lingers back to you. She tries to tell herself this dream of like, oh, she can't cook as good as me, she can't clean as good as me, she can't please him as good as me. I'm seeing specifically cooking and cleaning in my mind's eye. I don't know why. And there's this feeling of like, she can't do this as good as me. It's almost like, again, she's trying to find like a reason to make herself feel superior to you because she feels inferior next to you. She's trying to tell herself that she doesn't care when deep down she does. And I see her venting about you to like even her nail tech, or like I see her getting like a pedicure and venting to the nail tech. Okay, so I'm going to remove these cards and see what she thinks of your connection. We did get a bit on that, but let's see what comes through there. I feel like she doesn't really know what to think of you because she doesn't know you that well. But I hope that I was kind of like informative enough on what she thinks of you. If there's more on that, I'll mention it during this other part. So what does this ex of his think of their connection? The Three of Cups. She truly thinks he cheated when he didn't. But she also truly thinks like that he got bored of her. And she truly thinks that he's going to get bored of you too. Now that may not happen. Is it actually going to happen, Bird? King of Pentacles, Queen of Wands reverse. That's coming from her insecurities. So I don't think it's rooted in truth. I don't think he even actually got bored of her. I think she thinks that, right? And I think he was kind of like fed up with the toxicity between them, the toxic cycle that would never end. Because when I'm tapping into his energy, he kind of feels defeated at the end of their connection and feels like she's not willing to grow. What's the point of trying with somebody that doesn't want to grow, that doesn't want to like end this toxic cycle? Because I see them being in a karmic toxic cycle, and I see a lot of heartbreak in their connection, and him almost feeling defeated and like, she doesn't want to like work on our connection. What's the point? It's kind of like a dead end. I'm seeing a dead end in my mind. Like, you know, when you're on a road and you can't go further, I'm seeing literally a dead end. So she has like a warped perception of this based on her own insecurities with the Queen of Wands reverse. He never actually got bored of her like she thinks. And then I heard temper tantrum. So she's kind of having a temper tantrum about your connection. She speaks a lot about you and your connection with the Queen of Swords, says that he cheated on her. She really truly thinks that and believes that. it's embarrassing for her with judgment, because I see her like kind of like when they broke up, I see her telling her friends and family, we're gonna get back together, and then it never happened. And then her friends and family are like, oh, where's he? Like, oh, kind of like asking questions about him, and then she feels embarrassed. She kind of feels like the whole world is kind of laughing at her, which isn't even true. Like, I think that's just her insecurity speaking, because I don't think anybody really cares to like laugh at a person like that. I think she's making this bigger in her mind than what it actually is. I don't think anyone's actually judging her. I don't think anyone thinks it's embarrassing. Everybody goes through breakups. So I think I'm hearing like her friends say she needs to get her mind out of the gutter, because it's like she's fixated on you. She ruminates on you a lot. The Emperor, the Two of Cups. Again, she thinks you guys have a stable connection. She thinks your connection seems beautiful, but she delusionally thinks that he's going to leave you eventually for her, or leave you eventually, if not for her. Seven of Cups. It's kind of like wishful thinking with the Seven of Cups. It's not rooted in real, true fact, because she doesn't even know how he feels about you. She just assumes this and like wishfully thinks this and tells herself it's truth, which is why I say she's coming across as delusional. Like, I don't want to judge this girl. I kind of feel for her. But the reason why Spirit's saying she's delusional is because she takes what she assumes in her mind, or she takes wishful thinking and she assumes it's fact. Just like the cheating thing. He never actually cheated on her with you, but she takes it and she assumes it as fact, and then she tells it as fact to other people. Like, do you get what I mean? How do I explain this energy? It's so frustrating being in this energy. Okay, so this is someone who's not seeing reality clearly. But the key is they genuinely believe their version of events is truth. They may take a small detail, assumption, or misunderstanding and then build an entire narrative in their head around it. And I know on some level that can be normal, like a lot of people do that, but she does it to the extreme, where she even tells people about it as if it is fact, right? So once that narrative is formed, she clings to it emotionally, to the point when even when she's presented with facts or evidence, she refuses to accept it or believe it, that she might be wrong, right? So it's not always malicious when people do this. Sometimes it comes from insecurity, control, denial, or like an inability to believe that they're wrong in the situation. It's kind of like their mind twisting things to protect their ego or make sense of feelings they can't face directly. Like, for example, him moving on so fast. She kind of tells herself he was cheating and he was malicious, even when he was not. Like the thing of like her thinking you guys will break up. She kind of tells herself that to protect her own ego, because her ego doesn't want to be feeling humbled in some way. Does that make sense? That's what I'm feeling here energetically. So it's like she's confusing thoughts with facts, and it's because of an ego defense. And because she's misreading the situation and thinking it's fact, projecting her own feelings onto you and onto him that might not even be true. So how it can even show up, like I said, is gossiping confidently about false things, reacting to things that never happened, or being convinced they know someone's motives, I think she doesn't want to accept reality or the truth. She sees that you guys have been together for some time now with Temperance, and she sees that you guys have like that kind of connection where you give each other your independence, and she thinks in her mind that could never be me, because I see her being very possessive. Like, even when she was in the relationship with him, she would never like let him see his friends or anything like that. Like, she always wanted to be around him 24/7. She was very, very clingy. but also very possessive, where she didn't like let him do his own thing or let him live his life like you seem to do. Even if you don't do that, she thinks you do that. Okay, she thinks you guys have the kind of connection that seems, again, like loving, pure. But I also see some curiosity here with the Page of Swords, internet stalking. I always see the Page of Swords card as my internet stalking card. I know other readers won't see it like that, but this is my internet stalking card. And she kind of believes that he will eventually see other people, even if that's not rooted in fact. She likes the thought of it because she wants you to feel humble the same way she did. Because she kind of sees it as like, you took my man, you're the reason why we fall apart. Even if you're not, like, again, she can't take responsibility. She hasn't fully healed from the connection, from the breakup. She hasn't fully accepted reality. And she's kind of still stuck in that old reality that they're gonna get back together eventually, you know? And she hasn't, like, accepted that it's fallen apart. That she's, like, truly believing this, right? So how does she feel about pile number 1? The Star, the connection, Queen of Pentacles, and him, the Chariot. Okay, she thinks, again, like, you're very beautiful. She feels like you're giving him everything he wished for. And there's kind of like a bitter, resentful feeling coming from that. But I do think with the Star, I'm picking up on a future reality where she is going to heal, where she is going to realize that she projected her anger onto you. And she's almost going to say, thank you for, like, showing me a lesson to you in the future. So I feel like she is going to eventually heal from this and see, like, herself from a different perspective, see you from a different perspective, feel differently about this. And there's almost like this energy of, like, you're exactly what he wants with the Nine of Cups. You give him exactly what he wants. You're like his wish come true. I think eventually she's not going to feel bitter about it. But how she feels about you right now is very bitter and resentful. Almost like, why do you have to be everything he wants? Like, why you and not me kind of feeling. Okay? So Nine of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. Then the connection. She clings onto, like, the feeling of control that you and him would eventually break up, like I said before. But with the Queen of Pentacles here, when she looks at things clearly, she can see that you guys have, like, a grounded kind of connection where you take care of one another, where you're constantly, like, doing things for one another. She feels like you guys are secure in your connection and kind of, like, are confident in your connection, where it's like you make each other feel confident in some way. And she kind of feels like doing something bold, something she would have never done before, to kind of catch his attention again. Like, I see her kind of, like, posting a thirst trap or something, or, like, trying to pose for a sexy picture to get his attention. She kind of, like, wonders, okay, yes, you guys are, like, happy right now, but, like, would he still feel like that if I posted this? Or if I reminded him of why he loved me in the first place? There's kind of, like, again, competitive feelings here with the Five of Wands. I think she tries to hide it, but it's there. Since it's at the back of the deck, it's kind of like a hidden energy. I'm not sure what really happened there to the lighting. I don't know if, like, my light broke or what. Like the lighting I use for recording, but sorry if it's, like, a little bit darker now. But anyways, wrapping up your reading, I see that she's still in love with him. She believes that, like, this, you are kind of just an obstacle that he needs to get over to come back to her. With the Knight of Cups, she still feels love for him. She's still in love with him. She still believes that, like, they still would have something, or that there's still potential to have something here. But like I said, she kind of thinks you guys have this stable long-term connection, and she thinks that you, and feels like you are everything he's ever wanted. But I do see her eventually healing and accepting the truth and realizing that she's kind of put her anger on you, and it's not fair when you've not done anything to her. You know what I mean? Two of Cups, the Eight of Cups. She feels like he's eventually gonna leave you. Justice, the Fool. Okay, I'm hearing that song by SZA. Is it SZA? Where it's like, you're the weekend, I'm the week. Like, he comes to you on the weekdays, like he comes to me on the weekend, like something like that along those lines. Can't remember how the song goes exactly, but like I'm hearing the melody of it in my mind. She thinks that you're kind of like not seeing the truth, that he would like still go back to her. That's what she feels genuinely. But I don't think it's necessarily true. Is it true, Spirit? Let me just get an answer for you. The Sun reverse, no. That's a no. He was not happy with her with the Sun reverse. And that's why they eventually broke up, and that's why he eventually left for good and didn't go back, because he didn't feel happy in that connection. And as much as that may hurt for her to like accept, I don't think she's accepted it yet, which is why she's again delusionally thinking this. I think that's the gist of your reading, because I'm picking up on like the same kind of feelings. It's almost like she doesn't trust you with the High Priestess reversed at the back of the deck, and she feels like he will eventually like have secrets and like kind of like keep you away from knowing those secrets. She feels like he will eventually start doing those impulsive things he did in their connection to you, which isn't the case, because like I said, he's grown from that. He's learned from the lessons of that previous connection, that she almost feels like he will eventually leave and kind of like find something new. And she's hoping that like what happened to her will happen to you. That's what she's feeling. She doesn't trust him. She doesn't trust you. And she feels like something fishy is going on, even though it's not. Okay, so yeah, that is where I'm gonna leave this part of the reading. So let's just get some zodiacs and initials for extra confirmation. Well, I think I'm just gonna get zodiacs because this reading has already been long. I don't want to make it too long. So this one already fell out. So yeah, I do hope this was informative enough. Let me know how it's resonated based off like what you've seen from her, what he's said about her. Let me know. Aquarius, Leo. I hear that she has a very dominating personality. Or maybe she thinks that of you. But she could be projecting. Leo, Pisces, Gemini, Scorpio. Again, there's a lot of self-comparison, Libra and Capricorn. She was kind of like hoping that he would go for someone just like her. Again, I'm picking up on that. So Capricorn, that is all I have for you. I do hope this resonated. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below what you think of this reading. Your kind of opinions on her thoughts and feelings, I guess. I hope this was a juicy read, and if you do like my readings and you want to see more of it, I do post exclusive content on my membership. I post an extra video on there every single week, so if you want to sign up for that, I would appreciate it. Thank you for watching and being here, and I can't wait to see you next time. Pile 2, you chose the Amethyst crystal and the 5 of Cups card. We're starting your reading off at 1222 on the clock. Amazing angel number. So we're going to be taking a look at what is X thinks of you. Let's get straight into the reading and shuffle your cards. So immediately as I tap into her or their energy, I'm feeling this energy as someone that can't sleep, can't eat. Like, I'm seeing a vision of someone where they're like in a messy bun, which nothing wrong with, you know. Um, but she's wearing clothes that she hasn't like showered in for like days. She kind of just looks a mess, if I had to say like what I'm seeing from the vision I'm seeing in my mind's eye. And I just see her kind of like feeling restless, not eating, not sleeping, not taking care of herself. She's very worried about like him moving on to you in some way, like it's kind of like eating her up in some way. But I also feel some guilt on her side. Um, okay, this is not for everybody here, but I feel this energetically. I feel some guilt eating her up, and I feel like she did something in this connection that she was not supposed to, for some of you, not all. Like maybe she was messaging another guy or like doing some sneaky things she shouldn't have been doing. Maybe she was sleeping with somebody else. I don't know, like the extent of it. For some of you, it was like something small, like just messaging another guy, or like not something like full on cheating, but like maybe emotional cheating. And she kind of like wonders, did he find out about that? Is that the reason they broke up? Because she feels like she never got closure from him. She doesn't know the reason why they broke up, and she wonders, like, did he find out? Did he find out? And the guilt is eating her alive, and she wonders, like, if he found out, um, does that mean they never have a chance to get back together? Like, does that mean it's like over for good? Because it's almost like a part of her knows that if he found out the truth, there's no chance for them again. And there's a lot of disappointment and sadness in the energy with the Five of Cups. So what does this ex of him think of pile 2? She kind of thinks he's changed a little bit. We'll see what that means in a bit. Okay, so first card is you. Second card is the connection. And then third card is him. I hear beyond afraid. So there's a lot of fear and anxiety here, especially like if he's found out. It's almost like she felt like she never fully committed to him with the Four of Wands reverse. And she's very regretful about that. And she wonders if he knows. The Four of Wands reverse confirms that she wasn't very loyal. She wasn't like devoted to him in some way, and she wonders if he knows or if that's just a truth she knows. Okay? And maybe there's like this bittersweet feeling of like you are kind of devoting yourself to him in a way that she didn't, and that's bringing more regret. And if your connection's not that serious and you see potential for it getting that serious, then maybe that could be a potential future energy I'm picking up on. For those of you that are still like in a new connection, I see the Fool as kind of like the energy of having fun, embracing the moment, kind of like going with the flow, not putting any pressure or expectation on where the connection's going, but kind of just having fun for some of you. So maybe she sees that, or she thinks that that's happening between the two of you. But then with the Three of Wands, there's also an energy of like, even if we're just starting out here, we're like planning for the future. We do see potential here for a future between us. Or at least that's what she thinks is going on in your connection. Now, she thinks you're very fun. She thinks that you're lighthearted. She thinks that you're a free spirit in nature. She thinks that you kind of like make him almost feel adventurous, free in some way. And she wonders if she ever gave him that feeling or not. And then she thinks that you guys are like, you guys actually like have potential to be a good kind of couple or to last long. That's what she honestly thinks. But with the Six of Wands reversed at the back of the deck, there's kind of this feeling of I feel a little bit embarrassed because of maybe what I did. I see her kind of like making herself small, like trying to hide herself because of what she did, because of the guilt. She wonders like if he's told anybody, if he's found out, if her image, her reputation's gonna be ruined. I think she cares more about her image than about him, which is a little bit effed up, but that's what I see. It's like she's more worried about this coming out to other people and her reputation being ruined than him moving on. Although there's like disappointment and sadness here with the Five of Cups, we'll see if she actually like still has feelings for him later on when we get to the feelings part. But there is disappointment here with the Five of Cups that I can tell you so far. I'm feeling like the sensation of a paper cut, even though I don't have one like here. So maybe it feels kind of like a paper cut feeling metaphorically, not like a big hurt or pain, but like a paper cut. Okay, so we have the Four of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles reverse, and the Empress. So a part of her also thinks that you're somebody that kind of like isn't like her. She feels like she can be a little bit, how do I put this in words? She feels like she's the type of person that can be boring a little bit. She likes routine, she likes stability, she likes knowing that everything that happens is going to happen. Like, she likes having a plan, she likes being stable, she kind of likes being relaxed. She doesn't go out a lot. She doesn't feel like she's free-spirited like you. She doesn't feel like she's fun like you. And I think she's so insecure about like this part of herself that it's almost like she tries to seek out ways of seeming not boring by doing like fun but self-destructive things. Like this that we spoke about, like not being fully loyal to him with the Four of Wands reverse. But she kind of thinks that you have his heart in some way and that you would be able to love him better than she could, even though it hurts admitting that, because as we see, I don't know if you can see, the eye here looks very teary. It hurts to admit that, but she thinks you would treat him better than she did or they did. Okay, and there's almost like this feeling here of her wondering, like, how do I explain the energy I'm seeing? Maybe there's something about you two looking very different, and her wondering, like, did he like me more than you? Did he like you more than me? There's almost like this feeling of like self-comparison, the feeling of like, does he find me more attractive than you, or does he find you more attractive? She's kind of wondering that in her mind. She's also wondering if you work or not, or if he pays for everything for you. She wonders like if you would ever get bored of him, and like do what she did, because she kind of like projects her own unhealed wounds onto you. You know those kind of people that would do something shady and then they project it onto another person and wonder if that person would do the same? That's kind of the energy I see here. Nine of Cups, Four of Swords. What does she think of pile 2? The Judgment card. The Knight of Cups. She thinks he seems to care about you, and he seems to really like show a lot of like interest in you. He seems to kind of like be very romantic with you. She's kind of taken aback and surprised by that. She feels like your connection is progressing in a way. And she thinks that you're somebody that also seems kind of peaceful. You seem to bring him peace in some way. And there's kind of like a bittersweet feeling of like, I should have been the one to bring him that kind of peace. Like, I know you're probably better for him than I would be. Like, I know you'd probably be a better girlfriend or partner to him than I was because of what I did. Again, there's a feeling of embarrassment because of what she did or they did. And then there's a feeling here of like, you seem to be exactly what he wants or wishes for. A bittersweet feeling of like, he's happy with you. Like, he seems happy with you. He seems fulfilled. You seem fulfilled. And then this feeling of like, oh God, what have I done? Like, I shouldn't have done the things I did. Like, I should have treated him better. I should have been the one to make him happy, to make him fulfilled. But then also this feeling of like, I'm happy he's happy, I guess. It's like a mixed feeling. One part of her or them feels like they should have been the one to fulfill him that way. But another part of them also feels guilt about like what they did and knows they probably couldn't be that. And then another part of her or them feels a little bit happy for him that he's happy, even though it's not her happiness she's feeling, if that makes sense. She thinks that he likes you more than you like him, which is a good thing. But she almost is projecting a little bit because I feel like he chased after her a little bit. He liked her more than she liked him. And I think she liked the attention she got from him, but I don't think she truly valued him. That's what I'm feeling from her energy. And it's almost like she projects that onto you thinking you're the same. But I feel like on some level, he does cater to you in some way, and on some level it's not that you don't like him or value him, but I think on some level he does like you more than you like him. Not that you don't like him at all, but there's almost like this energy of him, like, you know, when women say get a man that loves you more than you love him, it's a good thing because he will always be the one like chasing after you, catering to you. There's that kind of energy here, but it being a good thing, right? So that's how she kind of thinks of it and sees it. But what's different here with you is you're not undervaluing him or underappreciating him like she did, right? And she can kind of see that, but she wonders, like, and kind of projects that maybe you'd be the same, I guess. She doesn't know if that's fully true, but she wonders it, you know? She obsesses over you a lot, in fact, with the devil at the back of the deck. And she kind of sees you a little bit like her enemy, but she kind of feels like she should be happy for him. If that makes sense. She doesn't want to like feel animosity towards you, but she feels like a part of her feels like you should be my enemy, but a part of her feels like I should be happy for him. So again, it's like this mixed feeling of like, I should be happy, but should you be my enemy? Like, it's kind of confusing. She doesn't know what to think, right? She thinks that you have potential to make it a long-term connection, to even, have a stable connection where you guys just choose and prioritize each other always. She thinks you make him happy, you make him fulfilled, like I said. She thinks that you may even satisfy him in the bedroom, and she hopes that he satisfies you so that you don't do the same things she did. Which I don't think you would, but like she kind of projects that. And I don't think it's not that he satisfied her in the bedroom, but I think there were certain things she was like unfulfilled with in the connection with him that she couldn't like face. And I think that affected her sex drive in some way, where she didn't like want him as much in that way anymore. But I think it was like rooted in something emotional, if that makes sense. Ace of Swords reverse, Justice, Eight of Swords. A part of her thinks that you're gonna like lie to him the same way she did. Again, there's like a lot of projection here. A part of her thinks that maybe you could be trustworthy, but she doesn't know what to think with the Eight of Swords. She feels confused with the Ace of Swords reverse. And the Ace of Swords reverse confirms that she lied to him a lot. And she wonders if you would do the same. Is there anything else besides what we've already spoken about, Spirit, in terms of what she thinks of pile 2? She thinks you two make it work, but she wonders if there's like incompatibilities in your connection. Like she thinks you two kind of like make a good match, but she kind of like wonders, is there anything that would make you feel stuck or make you feel like it's not working anymore? Even if that's not the case, like she wonders if that's present. Part of the reason why she wonders that is because the thought of somebody else doing that makes her kind of feel better and makes her not feel as bad. Kind of like, you know, when a person does something bad and they try to justify it by saying everybody does it, or, you know, when somebody else does it, they feel like they're not the only one that does that, then they kind of feel better about themselves morally. So that's a subconscious way of her making herself feel better for what she did. Okay, is there anything else? She kind of thinks that you're very sexually attracted to him. She thinks that like he satisfies you a lot in the bedroom. I don't know why she thinks that. And she thinks that you seem to like be having the hots for him in some way by like the way you maybe speak about him or post him on social media. She thinks that you have similar interests as him and you kind of like do things with him that she wouldn't have done. Like, for example, in my mind's eye, I see you going with him to the gym. And I see her thinking that you guys are both attractive together, like an attractive couple. And she kind of thinks you guys like have power couple vibes, if I have to be honest with what I see. There's a part of her that like wants to be happy for him, but there's also another part of her that hopes it ends. And I will be honest, she's kind of evil eyeing your relationship. A part of her is, at least. So Spirit is asking you to protect the energy of your relationship. How can they do that, Spirit? Privacy for one, knowing what to show to the world about you. Not saying you don't have to post him at all or like show him to the world, but something should be kept private until it's followed through on. Like, let's say, for example, you have good news in your relationship. Don't post it online immediately. Like, wait for it to happen and fully flourish first before you post it, or post maybe like sneak peeks of it, but not the full thing. There's certain things you have to be private about, like the good news in your relationship, if that makes sense. Also, Spirit is saying if you do happen to post and you do like want to, there's nothing wrong with that, but like if you do share it online or to the world, try to like imagine you and him being cloaked by positive energy. Like imagine a cloak around you and no dark energy can reach you or see you. And maybe like say a protection prayer to God, the universe, whatever you believe in, that your connection will be protected by light, by love. Nothing outside will affect it. Okay, let's move on to what she thinks of your connection. I don't know why she like thinks so much of like your sex life, but I'm hearing let the coochie breathe. That's such a weird quote to hear. But she almost perceives it as like you guys are probably having a lot of sex. And I think, I don't know why she like keeps thinking of your sex life. I don't know if like part of her is attracted to you. I don't know if she's bi, like what the hell is going on. Or if it's like a part of her feeling bad that she never like had a lot of sex with him because maybe a part of her was like emotionally unsatisfied that it affected their sex life, that she like keeps imagining your sex life, which is weird to say. Like, why would you want to imagine that? Okay, anyways, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands reverse. Again, like, she sees you two as kind of like a good match. You're kind of similar. You're kind of like one of a kind together. Like, you don't find many connections like that where two people are kind of like just similar on a similar wavelength where they just vibe well together. And she can admit that you two almost seem kind of perfect for each other, or like other halves of each other. If she never knew you, she would admit that. Like, if she never knew him, if she never knew you, she would kind of like ship you two together as a couple, or like kind of wish she had a relationship like that herself. But because she knows him, she would never admit that out loud, but she secretly thinks that. Eight of Swords, Justice. But there is insecurity preventing her from admitting that with the Queen of Wands reverse. But I do think she's in the process of releasing that. She hasn't released that insecurity yet, but she's in the process of healing that. Eight of Swords, Justice, the Magician reverse, the Ace of Wands reverse, and the Queen of Cups reverse. Okay, I think that his ex was very manipulative. It's almost like she feels insecure about the fact that what if she was not attractive enough for him? Which doesn't make sense because she's the one that cheated or emotionally cheated. Like, he never had any problems there. She was the one with the problems. So it doesn't make sense that she thinks that, but it's almost like she feels insecure about the fact that she never had a lot of sex with him with the Ace of Wands reverse. I don't know why that keeps coming up. But she keeps thinking that you guys are like doing it a lot. Anyways, I see her kind of like manipulating him while they were together, where she would kind of like try to say things to him like, is that girl prettier than me? You know, like things like that, where she would almost like try to get him to say that she's prettier than those other girls. So she wonders like if she had to ask him that now, would his answer like change? Would he like try to protect her feelings? Would he tell her the truth? Like, does he think you're more attractive or she's more attractive? There's that kind of thought process here of like, who's the most attractive one out of both of us? But she knows he probably wouldn't like tell her it's her because he's with you right now. Like, obviously he's attracted to you. I guess there's self-comparison here in her thoughts. I think that, I don't know why I'm seeing this. It feels a little bit like weird, the energy. I feel like intrusive seeing this energy because I never expected this, but I see a vision of her kind of like touching herself to him still, which is a little bit strange. Like, I didn't want to see that spirit. I feel like I walked in on somebody. Anyways, I don't know what to say now. That caught me off guard. It's almost like she believes that, like, you're eventually going to be the same as her. Like, even though your connection is good right now, and it seems like you guys are honest with each other, she believes that, like, you will eventually be like her. I don't know why. Let's pull some more cards, because I see her being, like, detached towards the end of the connection, where she believes you will eventually become like her, detached. It's like she just can't see somebody being loyal to him, which is so weird to say because, like, everybody deserves loyalty. But it's kind of like she can't... I'm hearing she compartmentalizes. I don't know how to say that word. I don't know, like, how to interpret that, but I hear she compartmentalizes this situation and kind of, like, doesn't see anybody being loyal to him. But I think a part of it is because she feels guilty and doesn't want to, like, accept her own guilt. And, like, I keep picking up on that energy even though I'm, like, trying to ask what she thinks of your connection. It keeps coming up, so I feel like she's projecting it onto your connection too, that you would eventually become like her to make herself better. I don't think she's doing it consciously though, it's subconscious. So the Chariot, the Five of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Devil, and the Knight of Swords. She wonders like if she had to like meet up with him, not meet up with him, like run into him somewhere and ask him for a hug, would he do it? There's almost like this energy of like, is it me or her? Like her wondering like if she had to bump into him in public with you, if she had to ask to hug him, would he hug her or would he protect your feelings? Like there's this feeling of like me or her. Would you choose me or her? She's hoping that you guys fight a lot, that you guys like eventually start like hating each other, because what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like this energy of like sunshine and then all of a sudden it's thundering and storming. So it's kind of like she thinks you guys have a very beautiful, happy connection, but she's kind of like hoping that it starts becoming toxic with the Devil, where you guys like keep fighting, keep shouting at each other, keep like arguing. And that could be affecting your connection in some way where the evil eye kind of like affects you to become like that with each other. For some of you, if you guys have been fighting a lot lately, it could be because of this evil eye. So I'd say cleanse yourselves and try to like deflect that energy back. But she thinks that you guys like have a strong enough connection where you would probably like get through it together and kind of be inseparable with each other. She also thinks you guys just have the hots for each other and can't keep your hands off each other, which she doesn't like because it makes her kind of feel like, why did I not have that feeling with him? Maybe he just wasn't the one for her. I don't know, like it's like she feels insecure within the fact that she didn't have the same kind of like sexual desire for him that you do, or that she perceives you do, right? I'm not seeing anything else there. That's all I see for like what she thinks of your connection. So now, how does she feel about pile 2? Judgment, the Hermit. How does she feel about their connection? 4 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. How do they feel about him? The Emperor and the Strength card. Again, she thinks that he's changed in this connection. Like you've truly brought out the best in him. And there's almost like this feeling of like you're getting another side of him that I've never seen before. So I don't even know what to feel about it. But there is kind of a feeling of like her feeling like, why didn't I bring out that part of him? Like, why didn't he change with me? You know? But I don't think he was even the cause for any of the problems in the connection, because I think she was like emotionally cheating. Yes, there may have been like things in their connection that caused that, like that emotional dissatisfaction. But I think they could have salvaged their connection if like she communicated that. But I think she never deserved him. I think she never deserved that kind of like changed, better version of him. Because it's almost like after their breakup, I see him kind of like having a glow up, and then her regretting it because he's had a glow up. I see him kind of like going to the gym, working on himself. I see him like working on his career, working on his stability, just becoming an overall better version of himself after they broke up. And she kind of like wonders, why didn't he do that for me? Why is he doing that for you? But I think he did that mostly for himself before he even met you, and then you met that like better version of him. And then there's almost this feeling of like, why didn't I get that? That's not fair. But in my opinion, it is fair, because like she didn't deserve that healed or matured or better version of him. She feels as though eventually like you're gonna get bored of him the same way she did. Again, projection. She feels like you could stay together, but maybe have like a long-term connection, even go on to have like kids together, a family together, but that you would eventually get bored of him and dissatisfied the same way she was. Okay. And then she thinks and feels that you would feel alone in the connection, but she also feels lonely herself, but she also felt lonely in her connection with him, so she's kind of hoping that you would feel that way, right? Like lonely in your connection. It's almost like she's hoping that her experience will be your experience to make herself feel better. She feels like you don't need him and you kind of just like only need yourself. And that kind of makes her feel very bitter because on some level she needed him and she felt like if she didn't have him, what would she have? Do you get what I mean? So it kind of makes her bitter seeing you be self-sufficient, and like she knows that on some level if you were to break up you would maybe be disappointed, you would be heartbroken, but you would eventually be fine on your own. And that kind of like twists her feelings towards you towards animosity and this feeling of like, why can't I be like that? So the Nine of Cups, the Six of Swords, the Tower, and the Four of Swords. She thinks about hypotheticals of what would happen in your connection. And again, I see her like worrying a lot. Worrying about if he found out. Worrying about if you know about her. Worrying about what he said about her to not only you but other people. And I see her kind of like manipulating the situation, trying to like tell people that he's a liar and that whatever he says about her is not true. Even if he's not talking about her, like she's going and telling people that. And she's going and telling people like, I wasn't happy in the connection anyway, like whatever. Acting like she doesn't care, but deep down she does. Like deep down she's very worried that what if he's moved on for good with you? Again, you've got the changed version of him that she wanted. And part of it is physical, part of it is also personality. Because he's kind of like had a glow up, it's like she wishes she got that version of him, but she also wishes that she got the version of him that's kind of like better, like personality wise, like more mature, more grown, and just doing better for himself overall. She feels very insecure about this, and she is hoping that your connection falls apart. She's hoping that things change for the worse. She feels like you got exactly what you wanted and he got exactly what he wanted, and she feels as though she wants it to fall apart so that she can have peace again, because it's almost like she feels like this took away her peace, even though I don't think he even did anything to take away her peace. But she feels like this situation took away her peace because she keeps worrying about it the whole time. I think that's the gist of what I see there. Because, like, I keep picking up on her projecting onto you. I keep picking up on her feeling she wants the connection to fall apart. Let's go ahead and pull zodiacs now. She also feels rejected in some way. Like, how dare you, like, move on kind of energy. There's something also about her noticing, like, his career moves right now. I also feel like pulling this one. And feeling like I wanted that version of him. I'm also seeing a ghost in my mind. So either she feels haunted by this connection, haunted by what she did, her own guilt, or he ghosted her and she doesn't know why. Sagittarius, Scorpio. Again, I'm hearing like you're perfect for each other and I hate it. Leo, Capricorn, Pisces, Virgo. I don't know why I'm seeing this vision, but I'm seeing a vision of you two get married. And I don't know if this is actually going to happen or if it's already happened. Remember, this is just hypothetical. We're reading into potential. So I'm not saying this will happen for sure, but there is potential of it happening in the future. if it hasn't happened already. And I see her kind of taking it personal that she didn't get a wedding invite, which is a little bit weird or strange. Like, who invites an ex to a wedding? Like, I wouldn't invite an ex, my partner wouldn't, like, even other people. I don't think it's right to invite an ex to a wedding. Like, it's kind of weird that she would take that personal, but I see that in the energy. Virgo, Pisces, Capricorn, Cancer. So that's where I'm going to leave your reading. Let me know how this resonated for you down below in the comments, from what you've seen about her so far and from what he's told you. Let me know what you think of the reading, what your opinions are on this. I'm just like wanting to hear your perspective on what you think of this. So yeah, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you like my readings and you want to see more exclusive content of mine, I do post a weekly reading on my membership. So thank you for being here and watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Pile 3, you chose the Rose Quartz Crystal and the Wheel of Fortune. Let's go ahead and shuffle your cards for how his ex feels about you, what she thinks of you. Okay, so what does this ex of his think of pile number 3? What do they think of pile number 3? So this is you, this is your connection, and this is him. Okay, so I was really hoping that this reading would be someone that moved on. I was hoping that this reading would be like the one positive pile, but I guess we're not getting that today. Okay, because like I was hoping we'd get one like where the person has moved on and they're happy for you, but anyways, that's not happening. The 5 of Wands represents her kind of feeling jealous of you, jealous of your connection, in competition with you. But what I see from her side is kind of like this energy of her believing that she was perfect for him, that she was the one for him. And now that may not be true, because I mean, he chose you, and he's with you right now, but it's almost like her family has told her, because I see her like being around her family, and I don't see her having many friends. I don't see her having like a new man around her. I just see her having her family. And it's like her family kind of tells her, don't worry, they will break up. You will have him back. It's kind of like her family supports her way of thinking. And maybe even implanted this way of thinking onto her, where her family genuinely believes, and she genuinely believes, that they're going to get back together, that he was perfect for her, she was perfect for him, that they're soulmates. I just saw 1111 on the clock. And it's like her family keeps telling her this, like, I see her mother brushing her hair and being like, yes, dear, he still loves you. He's going to get back with you. Like, I see her family kind of supporting this way of thinking, which is strange. It's giving me the ick. Anyways, 5 of Swords reverse is her kind of feeling like, and thinking he's not in the right relationship. Like, it's almost like this feeling of, don't be offended by me saying this, but this is her thinking, you could never satisfy him the way I did. Sorry, honey, it's just the way it is. It's not personal to you, but you couldn't satisfy him the way I did. She almost like thinks in that way of like, sorry, honey, he's mine. Like, I feel like if she had to speak to you, she would be very passive aggressive. She would almost try to like act nice in a passive aggressive way, call you honey, call you sweetie, be like, sorry, he's sweetie, he's mine. Like, that kind of energy is coming through in her thought pattern. That's what I'm hearing in my mind. The Chariot, what she thinks of you. She thinks that I'm hearing she thinks that you're just his now, just a phase, and that he actually wants her. Now, I don't know if that's actually true. Let's see if that's actually true, just to confirm. No. 8 of Pentacles reverse is a no. I feel like he chose you for a reason. He's with you right now. Why would he like move on to you if he still wants her? You know what I mean? And I see a no in the cards. That's not true. But she thinks that. She thinks that like you're just a phase in his life. She thinks that you are kind of like, the Chariot here I'm hearing is like his, what's the word? Like when you get out of a relationship and you go to a new relationship immediately after, a rebound, that word. The Fool. The Moon. The Ace of Swords reverse. And the Five of Pentacles. She thinks that you're cold. She almost like makes you a monster in her mind, like to help her own way of thinking, I guess. Like it's almost like she makes you a monster in her mind. She thinks that you're cold. She thinks that you're nasty. She thinks that you hate her. She thinks that you're a liar with the Ace of Swords reverse. She thinks that you would break his heart. She thinks that you wouldn't satisfy him. She thinks that you just are like a phase in his life. Even though she can see you're very deep, like she tells herself that you're just with him for superficial reasons, or that you're just using him for what he has. She thinks that like you won't satisfy him. She always thinks that he won't satisfy you because he's still in love with her, which isn't true at all. With the Ace of Swords reversed, it's almost like her thinking is very like untrue in a way. Like she thinks what isn't true is true. It's kind of similar to pile one in the sense of, in pile one I told them like this woman like believes her delusions are true, and it's like she believes it wholeheartedly even though there's no fact to prove it, but she believes it wholeheartedly almost in a delusional way. It's kind of similar but different in a way, but it's also that she believes it's true even though it's not. With the Ace of Swords reverse, it's kind of like a lie she's telling herself to make herself feel better. Does that make sense? She kind of just thinks that you guys do have a deep connection, but that it will always be her at the end of the day. She also thinks that you are somebody that is just like fun for him right now. That like, yes, you're offering him depth, emotional, like an emotional bond right now, but that it's not going to last forever. We have the Tower. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Eight of Swords. She thinks that you are like perfectionistic, that you're trying to hide flaws of yours. It's like she thinks that you are trying to hide something. Four of Wands reverse. Six of Swords. She thinks that eventually one person is gonna like decide to cheat or go outside the connection, with the Seven of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Three of Cups popping out, and the Four of Wands reverse, which represents like a breaking of commitment. It's almost like she believes that his feelings for you are going to change and that he might like cheat on you with her. Like she wholeheartedly believes that and thinks that. Or she thinks that you're eventually like going to go outside the connection and switch up on him or get bored of him in some way. She believes that your connection is going to fall apart with the Tower, and she thinks that you are stuck in a connection that isn't making you happy, or at least she tells herself that to make herself feel better. She thinks that like even though your connection is lasting longer than she would have expected, she still thinks it's eventually going to fall apart, and that you're only like pretending to be happy to like save face, but deep down it's like falling apart behind closed doors. She keeps telling herself that to make herself feel better. She thinks that eventually things are going to change with the Six of Swords to her favor. Nine of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, the Empress, and the Death card. It's almost like I'm picking up on something here, and it doesn't have to be this specifically. This could just be the overall energy, but Spirit could just be showing me an example of the energy. So I'm picking up on a situation where, like, let's say he was a certain religion and she was the same religion. and maybe you're not like a part of that religion. And then her parents are kind of like traditional, where they would tell her like, oh, don't worry, honey, it's not going to work because, you know, she's not of the same religion, like it's eventually not going to work, or, you know, his parents are eventually not going to like that, or whatever. It's like that kind of energy showing up, where if it's not religion, it's like she believes that because she and him like have the same of something and you don't have that thing, or believe in that thing, whatever it is, that eventually is not going to work because of like incompatibilities. And now that may not be true, like you guys may be able to make it work. Like I believe even if you have different beliefs, you can still make it work, even if it's not religious beliefs. The thing I've learned over time is not everything has to be the same. Like I can be friends with somebody with different beliefs than me, as long as we respect each other's beliefs. That is okay. We can like live different lifestyles. Maybe on some level in some relationships it ends because of that, because you can't see eye to eye. But I believe that if you respect a person and you respect their beliefs, they can believe something different than you. It's not going to affect your life. You know what I mean? Maybe in some cases, yes, people could break up because they want somebody that believes the same thing as them, if it's like a religion thing. But I don't think that would happen all the time. Just from like an outside perspective, different than hers, she thinks that like you're just with him right now, but that it's eventually going to end with the death card, or that eventually it's going to change for the worst. She thinks you're independent. She thinks you will be okay. She thinks you will eventually move on and heal from it. But there's almost like this energy of like, he's mine. He just doesn't know it yet. Like he may love you, but he's mine. He just doesn't know it yet. That's the energy that's showing through here. And I also see her texting people about you in that kind of like format, being like, he's mine, he just doesn't know it yet. That may be something she actually said to somebody, because I see like a text bubble in my mind's eye, and I see her like literally texting it. She's also very manipulative. Like I see her manipulating him with sex. I don't know why. Like when they were together, like when she wanted something from him, she would like give him sex. I don't know why I'm seeing that. I hear like star-crossed lover. She believes that they're star-crossed lover. Oh my gosh, the Knight of Swords, the Six of Cups reversed, the King of Pentacles. She believes that he's still stuck on her even though he's with you, even though that's not true. Like, we asked the cards, we gotta know. But she believes that he's still, like, not over her, that he still reminisces on her, that he still loves her, but doesn't want to admit it. She believes that, like, this is just gonna be short-lived. What else does she think of Pile 3 Spirit? I'm seeing Sagittarius energy in my mind's eye as well as Aries. She thinks you cater to him in a way, but that you wouldn't be able to cater to him the way she would. Like, she always believes that whatever you give him is good, but she could do a whole lot better. I see the energy of destiny swapping, copying you a lot. I'm seeing the energy of like, you know, in the Love Witch movie, there was this one girl, one woman, and her husband kind of like was hitting on Elaine, the main character that was a Love Witch. And to be fair, like it wasn't right because she kind of cheated with her husband. But then that lady found out about them having an affair. And so she goes to like her room or her house or something, and she's putting on her wig and everything like that, trying to look like her. So I'm seeing that scene in my mind's eye, which is making me think that this woman copies you. It's almost like she tries to like emulate your energy in some way. She tries to like copy your style or something to like almost appeal to him in some way, because she believes that that would kind of like make him want her again. It's almost like she's trying to do things to get him to want her again. And I see her kind of like wishing on the downfall of your connection, wishing on the downfall of you. I don't want to get too far into what she's wishing, but it's just bad energy there. That's what I'll say. She thinks that you are kind of like chaotic, a roller coaster of emotions. She thinks that you would not be able to provide him the same stability like she provides him. She thinks you're fun. You're kind of like showing him a good time right now too, but that you're not like his forever type of love, his stability, you know? It's almost like she's giving very pick-me energy because she's like, I'm getting that Taylor Swift vibe of like that song, she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts, that song. I'm getting that vibe. It's giving pick-me. I see her kind of like looking at herself like, oh, I'm stable. You know, I can be wifey. Oh, she's fun. She's hot, but she's not wifey. Like, it's giving pick me. That's what I'm getting. Okay, let's take a look at what she thinks of the connection. What does she think of their connection? She thinks your connection's lighthearted, sweet, romantic, yeah. We have the Strength card. We have the Page of Cups reverse. We have the Death card. She thinks that your connection seems strong right now, but that it's not an unbreakable bond like hers is. And she believes that it's eventually going to end, like I said before, the Empress, the Knight of Cups, the Hanged Man. She's surprised that it's actually lasted longer than she thought it would. Like she thought you would have broken up by now. So Empress, Knight of Cups, Hanged Man, Page of Swords, Temperance, King of Swords, the Hierophant reverse, and the Four of Swords. She thinks that you are sexy, hot, like you always hypnotize him with your beauty. But she thinks that your effect on him isn't gonna last forever. Like, he might be attracted to you right now, but he's eventually gonna leave. Look at the Eight of Cups popping out, Ten of Wands. She thinks eventually problems are gonna show up in your connection. And she thinks, like, she's the only one that knows, like, how to handle him or how to give him what he wants or how to please him. She thinks that, like, you're not pleasing him in some way with the Five of Pentacles at the back of the deck. But again, this is just what she's telling herself to make herself feel better because she can't accept the fact that he's moved on. And it's not about one person being better than the other, but it's kind of like she's made herself the better one. She has a superiority complex where she puts herself above others to make herself feel better. And it's not that anyone is inferior to the other person. I believe a person can love a person in a different way. Like, someone can look at their ex and say, you know, this was that kind of love, but this is a different kind of love. And it doesn't mean that one person's better than the other. It just means that they've moved on to a different kind of love. You know what I mean? And she can move on too, or they can move on too, but they aren't. They're choosing to stay stuck in the thought process of, he's mine. He just doesn't know it yet. I don't like this pick-me energy coming from her energy. I just don't like it at all. She thinks that you guys have somewhat of a peaceful connection. That, like, he treats you very well with his words, which she's surprised by. She would have wanted him to treat you badly, which I don't get. Like, if you... Like, I get it, you could feel animosity towards the new woman. But, like, why would you have to wish that on the other woman? It's not right. She thinks that you're, like, in love with him and he's in love with you right now. But that facade's eventually gonna break. That it's just an illusion. It's just a facade. She thinks that you're kind of like eye candy, but that you don't have like the same love to offer him that she does. It's almost like she believes that the love she would offer him is better than what you could offer him. And part of this is like what her mother tells her, because I see her mother being very toxic in a way where she like tells her, oh, she couldn't satisfy him the way you do. Oh, she couldn't be wifey to him the way you are. It almost feels like her parents wanted like an arranged marriage with them two together. I don't know why, but I'm seeing that. Is there anything else she thinks about the connection? I'm hearing a ringing in my ear, so that's confirmation. King of Cups reverse, the Eight of Swords, the Tower, the Ace of Swords reverse, and the Ten of Cups. She thinks that eventually one person's gonna detach, fall out of love, feel stuck in the connection. She thinks that eventually is going to lead to dishonesty, the destruction of the connection, one person going outside the connection with the Four of Wands reverse, which is like a breaking of a vow commitment. That's what she thinks is going to happen. Like, yes, it seems like it has potential and it seems like it could last, but it's eventually going to end. That's what she thinks. And that doesn't mean it's going to happen, but this is what she delusionally thinks. Now, how does she feel about pile number 3, the Hermit, the Page of Pentacles? How does she feel about their connection? The Ace of Swords reverse, the Tower, the Four of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. How does she feel about him? The Queen of Cups reverse, the Ace of Wands reverse, the Justice. Okay, she feels like he isn't as attracted to her as he is to you. She feels like she's not as hot as you, right? She thinks you're hotter than her. That's what she thinks. That's not my words, that's her words. And she's kind of like scared that like, what if he's more attracted to you than her, and like what if they do get back together and then like he keeps going back to you in some way, like on the side. So she's worried about that. She sees you as a threat. And it's almost like she wouldn't fully trust him if she got back with him. That's what she thinks in her mind. Like she feels like if she got back with him, she would constantly be worried that like he would cheat on her with you. Even though I don't necessarily see that, I don't see them getting back together, I don't see him wanting her even, but she feels that way. Again, it's like a delusion that she believes is truth with the Justice card here, but isn't really truth. It's like faulty in some way. It's like she doesn't want to face or accept the truth about him being detached. With the Queen of Cups reverse, it's like he's fell out of love with her. He's detached himself from her. He's not in love with her anymore. And she can't accept the truth of that. And she keeps telling herself that he's still in love with her. It's weird because when I tap into her feelings for him, I don't think there's much there. But it's almost like she wants him to still be in love with her. I think she is detaching from him, but she doesn't realize it. Because she's put so much importance into the thought of their connection and them getting back together, it's almost like she's wrapped herself up in the belief of that happening, but not realizing that she's starting to detach from him and lose feelings for him as time goes by because of his attraction to you. Does that make sense? I don't think she realizes it yet, but I think she's going to realize it in the near future that, wait, I'm actually not that in love with him anymore. Maybe I just wanted him to love me. But like, do I even feel anything about him? I don't think that's going to happen soon, like soon, but it's going to happen in the future. I feel like she's slowly going to realize that because she's the kind of person where it's like she delusionally believes something and she sticks to that, where it's like she's very stubborn, nothing can change her mind. And even if that feeling is there, she will deny it until she can't deny it anymore. Honestly, if I have to say, like, she has fallen out of love with him, but she doesn't realize it yet. or she's starting to. And now I'm hearing that song, I Keep Falling Out of Love, In Out of Love with You, that song by Alicia Keys, where she talks about falling in and out of love with a person. So perhaps for some of you, it's like she's lost feelings for him, and then perhaps for others of you, it's like she's falling in and out of love, but she's in denial of it. She doesn't realize it yet herself. How she feels about you. She feels like you are eventually going to be alone. She feels like you are just like a temporary thing in his life. Like I said before, she feels like you are just temporary to him. Okay? She feels like your connection is eventually going to end because of dishonesty. Same cards, same energy. And she feels as though you guys have the kind of connection that is peaceful. She wonders like why hers wasn't as peaceful with him. Because I see their connection being kind of volatile, like fighting all the time. Cycles of like not respecting each other in some way, where like two people are constantly disrespecting each other. And then she tells herself that, oh, it's just calm and peaceful because they're not really in love with each other. Like, we fought like we were married already. It's like she takes something negative and she turns it into evidence of it being something positive. Does that make sense? Like, she takes their fighting and she tells herself, oh, it's because we were so in love with each other. It's because we cared about each other. But he doesn't fight with her because he doesn't care about her. But that may not even be true. It may just be a healthy relationship. It may just be peaceful. But then she tells herself that it's like this. Do you see why I say she's kind of delusional? Like, she falls into this delusional thinking just like that energy in pile 1. But different in a way. Is there anything else? Because I don't want to make this reading repetitive. 8 of Cups, nothing else. Just, she thinks he's going to leave you. That's what I see. Sorry if it was a little bit repetitive, but like that same message kept coming up even as I was trying to like channel different information. So, zodiacs. Okay, we have Pisces. I hear she's analyzing you a lot. Cancer. Taurus. Libra. Aries. She kind of sees you as the trophy wife, but not the forever wife. Like, I don't know why I'm saying trophy wife, but I'm hearing that. Aries, Aquarius, Libra, Virgo, and Scorpio. It's kind of like she believes that even if he does commit to you, it's just temporary. It's not going to last. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave your reading. I do hope this resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how it resonated down in the comments below. Let me know your opinions on this, your thoughts on this. I'd like to hear your perspective. So, yeah, if you do like my readings and you want to see more exclusive content of mine, I do have a membership where I post an extra video weekly. So if you want to check that out, I would appreciate that. But yeah, thank you for being here and for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.